learners, today we're going to discuss continuity of a function. Let us examine the given. Y is equal to f of x is equal to x squared minus 3x minus 4 all over x plus 1. Now, if we're going to factor out yung numerator, it would be the quantity of x plus 1 times the quantity of x minus 4. And after that one, yung common factor na x plus 1 can be cancelled out. So yung matitira na lang sa function natin would be f of x is equal to x minus 4. Now, we can say that this function is only defined if and only if x is not equal to negative 1. Kasi nga, kung magiging negative 1 yung value ng x, pag isa-substitute natin yung negative 1 dito sa value ng x sa denominator, magiging undefined yung function natin. So, we can say that f of negative 1 is not defined. The graph of this particular function is the line y is equal to x minus 4. So, ito na yung graph niya. At papapansin nyo sa graph, meron siyang hole. Okay. Yung hole niya dito, represented by the point negative 1, negative 5. Since the function is not defined at x is equal to negative 1, then we can say that this function is not continuous at x is equal to negative 1. So mapapansin natin yung graph, hindi siya continuous dito sa point na ito. Okay? Hindi siya continuous at x is equal to negative 1. In other words, if there is a break or a hole in the graph, a function at a particular value of x, the function is said to be discontinuous or not continuous at that point. So since mapapansin natin yun na yung given graph natin ay may hole or may break, then we can say that this is discontinuous or not continuous at a particular point. Now, how can we determine if the function is continuous or discontinuous? The function f of x is continuous at x is equal to a if and only if the following three conditions are satisfied. So, yung first condition natin, if f of a exists. Yung second condition naman natin, if the limit of f of x as x approaches a exists. Or we can say that the limit of f of x as x approaches a from left is equal to the limit of f of x as x approaches a from the right. And the last one, if the limit of f of x as x approaches a is equal to f of a. The function f of x is discontinuous at x is equal to a if at least one of the three conditions is not satisfied. So we have to make sure na yung tatlong conditions are satisfied. So kahit isa lang yung nalabag sa tatlong condition, then automatically the function is discontinuous. Example, determine if f of x is equal to x cubed plus x squared minus 2 is continuous or not at x is equal to 1. So itong x is equal to 1, ito yung titignan natin kung dito na point na ito or value ng x magiging continuous ba or discontinuous yung given function natin. So how are we going to do that? We're going to have the first condition first. So sa first condition, f of a should exist. Ibig sabihin, if I'm going to substitute yung value ng x, then yung makukuha natin na value would be defined. So in this case, we're going to substitute x is equal to 1. So it will become f of 1 is equal to 1 cubed plus 1 squared minus 2. Let's simplify it. So we will have 1 plus 1 minus 2. Simplifying further, we get f of 1 is equal to 0. So defined yung f of a natin. Yung function natin is defined Kasi nga yung nakuha natin na answer is 0 or any numbers as long as hindi siya magiging undefined. Therefore, we can say that f of 1 exists. Now, how about the second condition? We're going to determine if the function or the limit of the function exists. So, we're going to use direct substitution. Isa-substitute lang natin yung value ng a natin, which is, in this example, is 1. So, the function again is x cubed plus x squared minus 2. So, yung x, papalitan lang natin ng 1. So, the answer would be 0. So, define yung answer natin. Therefore, the limit of f of x as x approaches 1 exists. Now, let's compare yung value na nakuha natin sa condition A at sa condition B. So, if we're going to solve for the function, we will have 0. And if we're going to get the limit of the function as x approaches 1, the answer is also 0. So, f of 1 is equal to the limit of f of x as x approaches to 1. So, same lang sila ng value which is equal to 0. And because of this, our third and last condition is being satisfied. Therefore, we can say that f of x or yung given function natin is continuous at x is equal to 1. Another example, determine if f of x is equal to x squared minus x minus 2 all over x minus 2 is continuous or not at x is equal to 0. Again, first condition muna tayo. So, isa-substitute natin yung value ng x which is 0. And ito na yung magiging itsura niya. Simplifying, we have negative 2 over negative 2. So, divide lang natin sila. The quotient would be equal to 1. Therefore, f of 0 exists. Kasi yung nakuha natin na value is defined. Now, how about the second condition? So, we're going to get now the limit of the given function. Now, we can simply use direct substitution kasi nga hindi naman siya magiging undefined pag isa-substitute natin directly si 0. Or we can also factor out yung common or we can cancel the common factors. So, sa numerator, yung factors niya would be the quantity of x minus 2 times the quantity of x plus 1. So, we can cancel out the common factors which is x minus 2. So, yung kukunin natin ng limit would be the limit of x plus 1 as x approaches to 0. So, pwede tayo mag-direct substitution na dito. So, we will have 0 plus 1. Simplifying it, we will have 1. Therefore, the limit of f of x as x approaches to 0 exists. Comparing our answer for condition 1 and condition 2, they have the same value which is equal to 1. So we can say that the given function is continuous at x is equal to 0. Next example, we have f of x is equal to the square root of x minus 1. Is it continuous or not at x is equal to 4? First condition, so substitute lang natin yung value ng x. We will have square root of 3. Now, how about the second condition? Ang limit naman ng function natin, so mapapansin nyo, same lang yung ginagawa natin. We can direct or we can use direct substitution. So, yung answer natin is still magiging square root of 3. Therefore, we can say the limit of f of x as x approaches to 4 exists. So, since same lang yung nakuha natin na values sa condition A and condition B, then we can safely say that the given function is continuous at x is equal to 4. Now, how about this piecewise function? We have f of x is equal to 2x minus 1 if x is less than 1, 5 if x is equal to 1, and x minus 2 if x is greater than 1. We are going to determine if the given function is continuous or not at x is equal to 1. So let's substitute first. So since we are going to determine kung continuous ba siya sa 1, yung sa first step natin, we're going to use the second function, sa piecewise function natin dito. Bakit dito natin siya kukunin? Kasi nakalagay dito na condition pag x is equal to 1. Therefore, yung function na gagamitin natin is automatically 5. So, f of 1 is equal to 5. Okay, tandaan natin, 5 yung nakuha natin na value sa condition A or sa first condition. Now, how about the second condition? Sa previous na mga examples na binigay ko, hindi ko na pinakita yung left hand and right hand limits. Okay? Automatically equal na sila. Usually, ginagamit natin yung pagpapakita ng left hand and right hand limit pag yung given function natin ay piecewise. Okay? As we all know, by definition, nagkakaroon lang ng limit or the limit only exists sa given function if and only if yung left hand limit niya ay equal sa kanyang right hand limit. Now, let's determine the left hand and the right hand limit of our given function. So, pag sinabi natin left hand limit, we're going to determine or substitute the values which are less than 1. Okay? So it will be read as the limit of f of x as x approaches 1 from the left. So ito yung mga numbers na approaching kay 1 na less than 1. So since less than 1 siya, sa given na piecewise function natin, yung pinakauna yung gagamitin natin. Kasi nakalagay dito na condition if x is less than 1. Okay? So we're going to use 2x minus 1. So we will have the limit of 2x minus 1 as x approaches 1 from the left. So isa-substitute lang natin si 1 sa given na function. We will have 2 times 1 minus 1. Simplifying it, we have 1. Okay, tandaan natin ha. Ito yung nasa left hand limit natin, yung value na nakuha natin is 1. Now, how about sa right hand limit? So, pag sinabi natin right hand limit, ito yung mga values na approaching kay 1 from the right. Ibig sabihin, these are the numbers which are greater than 1. So, since greater than 1 siya, yung gagamitin natin na function would be the last one. Okay? Kasi ito yung nakalagay dito, if x is greater than 1. So, we will have the limit of x minus 2 as x approaches 1 from the right. Substitute lang natin, we have 1 minus 2. And simplifying it, we will have negative 1. Now, yung nakuha natin sa left hand is positive 1. Yung nakuha naman natin sa right hand is negative 1. So, kung mapapansin natin, hindi sila equal. It simply means that the limit of f of x as x approaches 1 does not exist. Therefore, hindi na natin kailangan pang mag-proceed sa third or last condition. Kasi na labag na yung rule natin or condition natin sa pangalawa. Since the limit does not exist, then we can say that the given function, f of x, is discontinuous at x is equal to 1.
Now it's your turn. Try to answer the following questions. And that's a wrap. Please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, Sir Ninyo. And you can also post your math problems in the comment section. And we will do our very best to provide solution to your questions. Because remember, every problem has a solution at kung math ang problema ninyo, ako ang kagapay ninyo, ako ang Sir Ninyo.